Pat Reck, a multigrade teacher from Brothers, Oregon, describes how she has organized her classroom to accommodate student traffic. Number 1. Using visual barriers to define activity area. When you decide on your activity centers, it is quite helpful to use your furniture as a means of defining the boundaries of different work areas. Bulletin boards, portable blackboards, bookshelves, and file cabinets work well as dividers. These visual barriers help define the different centers and help isolate the different levels of activity. However, it is quite important that you can see what is occurring at each center from your teacher work area. This will make it much easier to monitor student behavior. For example, if you see that a student is working with another student in the independent area, you can request they work independently or move to a center where talking is allowed. Number 2. Teacher resources. It is important to give some thought to the idea of a teacher resource center. This is an area for teacher-controlled resources such as tests, teacher manuals, and assignment files. In addition, this area serves as a place where the teacher meets with individuals or small groups of students. Most teachers simply put a table, bookshelves, file cabinets, and a blackboard in the center. Number 3. Student resources. You may wish to place resources used by students in a central location. These may include textbooks, encyclopedias, library books, dictionaries, and student storage. These materials need to be arranged so that students can find and return them independently. This area should be accessible from any center in the room with a minimum of disruption. Number 4. Traffic patterns. Once you have identified your activity centers and made some tentative decisions regarding their placement, you must review your floor plan with an eye toward student traffic patterns. Your goal is to enable students to move freely from one activity center to another with minimum disruption. If a student needs a book from the resource center, will he or she have to walk through the quiet area? You should make sure that audio-visual equipment is near an electrical outlet and that science materials needed for an assignment are located in the appropriate areas. Of course, you must also consider that there is clear and safe access to emergency exits. Number 5. Specifying activity centers for students. When arranging your classroom, ensure that activities that will occur at each work area will be supported by the equipment and materials available. In the individual study area, this means you might use student desks separated from one another to discourage talking. In the pair work area, you could place 2 student desks together to encourage sharing. You do not want students wandering through different centers seeking electric outlets or water. Furnishings need to be appropriate to the type of activity that will occur at each center. Number 6. Accommodating age differences. In multi-grade classrooms, it is important to consider the age and size differences among students. For example, consideration should be given to the procedures for finding materials and to the size of the furniture. If you intend to use a materials resource center, then some thought should be given to primary grade students who may not be able to read. This is quite important if you want to have students find materials independent of the teacher. Several strategies are worth considering. Subject areas could be color-coded and pictures could be used instead of words. Older student helpers could also be used. Remember, your purpose in using centers is to encourage and develop independence.